Good morning to the August Lemon Grove Clergy Association meeting. I'm going to stop calling it a breakfast meeting because we haven't had breakfast in 6 months. Um, but I'm really glad that everybody's here. These are great meetings because they're filled with people who love their community and want to invest in it and make it a better place. And so we're just going to take the next hour and 15 minutes to share resources, share our lives for a few minutes, and check in and make sure we're all doing good. Let me just share my screen and what we're going to do for the first few minutes. Some of you have been here the last couple times, so you know, but we are going to take a few minutes just to go around, and I'll have to call you out your name because our boxes are all in different orders on our various screens. But we're just going to share our name, the name of your church, agency, or organization that you're representing. And then let us know if you have an announcement or a resource that you would like to share later. It's some kind of an update about the city or what you're doing in the city. And any kind of a flyer, those kinds of things, you can post them in the chat room. My husband will be manning the chat room. And so if you have a question or you want to get in line, you can also do that as well. And then, so after we share, then we'll open with prayer. And, well, maybe we should open with prayer now. Let's do that now. So, Mark, do you want to open with prayer? I'll go ahead and mute and let you unmute your...
Loving Father, our great Father in heaven. But not only in heaven, you're here on earth with us, walking with us each and every day. In this time when our worlds are turned upside down and things are so different, the world still turns. You set it in motion, you set it in place, and we ask that you guide us as our lives move forward, and not just as individuals and families, though I pray for each family here, each person and their needs, but also as a community, as we come together with what you've gifted us with and what you've called us to continue to fight the good fight, to love one another, to give, to share, to be kind, and to make Lemon Grove a better place to live. And we all have our part in that. And may we support each other as we do our part. And it looks different now, God. So show us, give us clarity, give us vision and wisdom in the days ahead. We give our lives to you and this city to you, and we thank you for bringing us together in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mark. Okay, well, so these are the questions: your name, your organization, and if you have an announcement. I'm going to go ahead and unshare my screen so that I can see all your wonderful faces. And I will go from my screen, top to bottom, left to right. And the first on my screen is Roberta. So Roberta, do you want to unmute your mic and share your name, organization, and if you have any announcements you'd like to make when we get into the announcement section?
Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. I'm Roberta Bulling, and I'm here with Mike Lavich to represent the Baha'i community. I also wear a different hat. I share news from the Lemon Grove Historical Society, and I would have need about a minute to make an announcement later. Thank you.
Got it. Okay. I'm next on the screen, so I guess I'll go. I'm Ann Stapleton, and my husband Mark is sitting right next to me. There we go. He's going to come over. He's going to roll over. There we go. And, we are representing the Cornerstone Community Church. We meet at the First Baptist Church, and we've been in the city for 19 years. And the First Baptist Church pastor will be here in a moment. Hopefully, he's under the dental gun. He's getting his teeth done today, and I think it's his birthday too. I saw on Facebook just before we got on that it was his birthday, so I don't know why he would schedule a dentist appointment on his birthday, but you know, hey, to each his own. So hopefully when he gets on, we can sing a little Zoom happy birthday to him. Those are always really fun. So okay, next on my screen is Clarice. So go ahead, and you're unmuted already, so go ahead and share with us if you have an announcement to make and who you are. And
Okay, Pastor Clarice Christian, pastor of Emmanuel Chapel in Spring Valley, the owner of See Christ Bookstore, right here in Lemon Grove, not far from Coop's Barbecue. And we are open, been open about a month. It's been a challenge as a business. Most of you may understand that, but we trust God, and God has opened some doors for us, and we were blessed in that avenue. I think the city of Lemon Grove has had some grants that they extended out to some businesses, and I haven't received it yet, but I did get notice that it looks like we may be able to acquire one of those. So we're happy about that. We did not apply for the PPE money. I do want to say that we are specializing in Bibles and communion supplies. As you know, the little individual cups are the most safe things right now. It takes a training. You have to have some training to open them.
Okay.
but once you get it, you got it. So we just want you to know we are trying to carry things that this community needs. We want to be a force for Christ in this community. And for us to remain in the community, we need the community support. And we thank all of you who've supported the bookstore all along. We do embossing as well. We can emboss Bibles, whether you bought them from us or not. And we pray for everyone that comes through that door. Every morning, there's prayer that goes through in that store. Awesome. So I want to thank everybody. I just want you to hold on. God's got us. And there's no weapon formed against us shall prosper. And we pray that no pestilence come near your tent.
Amen. Thanks, Clarice. All right, next on my screen is Mike. Do you want to unmute and share?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Mike Lavish with Baha'i Faith, and I do have two very short announcements for later on.
Okay, great. We'll come back to you. Thank you. Okay, Dean?
There should be a uniform order for everybody's screen.
I know.
I was caught off guard.
Sorry about that.
Good morning. I'm Dean Ambrosini with the Institute for Public Strategies, and I would like to apologize for my colleague this morning. David is not able to join us and sends his regards. I do have an announcement and a flyer to promote.
Perfect. Great. Thank you, Dean. Yeah, I know this is the spontaneous, like, who's next? It's like drum roll, ready, and my next person on my screen is Kaylee, who is new. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I know you're going to be presenting later. So,
hi, my name is Kaylee Cantor, and I am a health advocacy specialist for Full Stop. It's a tobacco control program. It stands for Families Uniting Locally to Solve Tobacco Proliferation. I know that I've met some of you guys before. You all look really familiar. Yeah, I just have a quick presentation that I will be sharing later with you all.
Great. Thanks, Kaylee. All right. Next, we have Lieutenant Mike Rand.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Rand, Lieutenant over at the Lemon Grove Sheriff's Station. I've been off these meetings for a while, but it's really good to be back and see everybody's face, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I can provide an update kind of on some of the things we're doing within the community, and I can do that either now or I can do it later.
Yeah, I think let me finish introductions and then I'll have you go first because I do know you have another Zoom meeting to go to. So.
Okay, sounds good. It'll be quick.
Get a call at any time, right? So. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
We'll have you go. We'll have you go in just a minute. We'll finish up introductions. Thank you, Mike. Okay. So next we have Sarah, or Mark Lewis, as her screen says.
I'm on my husband's computer. I'm Sarah Lewis. I'm from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and my husband's actually the bishop, so I do kind of let him know what's going on. He's working from home, so he's downstairs working. I'm also a brand new member of the Lemon Grove Historical Society board, so I'm working with Roberta, which is super fun. I've been up going through archives. I'm hoping to get archives organized. So if you all want, and I'm also the new vice president of membership. So if you want to be a member of the Historical Society, I'm your guy. So I'm very excited about that.
That's great.
And just thank you for having this meeting. And also, Clark Hendrickson and I are want to share about that food drive. So
that's right, the food drive.
He'll probably want to take a minute later. We're working together on that.
Awesome. Okay, great. Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for taking on that role at the Historical Society. Okay, next I have Mike James up on my screen.
Hi, good morning. Mike James with the City of Lemon Grove, and it's been a while since I've attended a meeting, so it's so nice to see everybody's face. I do just have a brief update about some of the homeless outreach programs that we have going on, and in partnership with the Sheriff's Department and also Homestar. So that's all.
Nice. Excellent. Thank you. And Jennifer Mendoza.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Jennifer Mendoza, and I'm representing St. John of the Cross Catholic Church, and I'll have just a short announcement about the church. And then I'm also on the City Council, and I may follow up with something Mike says. I may not. I think he's probably going to cover most things pretty well, but I do have a little announcement.
Okay.
And although Joyce may announce this before me, so Joyce and I'm going to say Joyce and I have a exciting announcement.
A joint announcement. Very good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I'll put you down as checking back in to see if your announcements have been covered by other people. Okay, thanks. Next, Teresa Hendrickson. You don't look like a Teresa.
Clark.
How are you, Clark?
There, my wife's computer. Clark Hendrickson with Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, and we'll be sharing a flyer to be used for inviting people to participate in the food drive coming up in about a week and a half.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll have you speak in a moment and share your flyer. I think I did send your flyer out already, but we can share it again. Great. Monique, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Monique Byers. I'm a community partnership prosecutor at the San Diego District Attorney's Office. I've been also asked that I should add to my description that I'm on the board of directors of San Diego Youth Services. And I have an announcement about a community event with the DA's office.
Awesome. We have a lot of announcements this morning. That's great. It's good. We'll pack them in. Okay, Miss Joyce, you're next on my screen.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's good to see all the faces this morning. And I'm going to defer to Jennifer so she can give the announcement. I'm just really, really excited, and I love partnerships and collaborations. And I have a little announcement later on.
You do have an announcement. Okay.
And I'm representing Thrive.
Thrive, Lemon Grove, right. Okay. Mark, you're next on my screen. Do you want to add anything to the introduction? All right.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. And then Shauna, is that how I say your name? Shanna? Okay. Go ahead and unmute. By the way, you all are doing great on Zoom. Like everybody's been muting and unmuting. This is great. without incident, except she can't unmute. Let's see.
She hit her space bar. That might
There we go. Now you're unmuted, I think.
Better?
That's a lot better. Awesome.
Hi, I'm Shanna Clevenger, Crime Prevention Specialist with the San Diego County Sheriff's Department.
Thanks, Shanna. Good to see you again. And Lydia, I don't see her face, but I see her box there.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Lydia.
So I'm going to let Mike do our homeless update, but I do have a few news updates for the city. So you can come back to me at your when it's my turn.
Great. Are you in a car? Do you need to go kind of up toward the beginning? Are you driving?
No, I'm fine. It's just our city computers don't have video.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, we have very old laptops. We just gravitated to laptops, but none of our laptops have a camera.
Oh no.
Yeah, Mike is using his personal laptop so you can see his handsome face.
Oh wow. His handsome face. Okay, well, we know what you look like. We'll keep that in our mind's eye. Thanks for joining us, Lydia. All right, and then I have one phone call, which is phone 619-461-8363.
Oh, that's probably Susan Farnsworth.
Oh, is that Susan?
Yeah.
Susan, is that you? You want to unmute? I don't know. Whoever's calling in on the phone.
I'm pretty sure that's Susan Farnsworth.
Probably Susan. Okay. So
It's Susan.
Okay,
Yeah.
Susan.
It's me.
Do you want to just
I don't have any
yourself?
announcements. I'm Susan Farnsworth from Lemon Grove United Methodist Church, and I don't have any announcements.
Okay. Great to have you on, Susan.
Community service extraordinary.
And then George Rennion just joined us. You want to just introduce yourself, George, and let us know if you have an announcement to make later in the meeting?
All right. Well, good to be here and see everybody. George Runyon, and I direct a ministry called City Church Ministries, a connecting ministry to connect pastors in cities and in the region here. And so that's keeps us pretty busy.
Awesome. Do you have any announcements to make today, or no?
Nope. No particular announcement. Yeah.
Great. Thanks for being on, George. Good to have you. Okay, so I think that's it for introductions. So we'll go ahead and start with Mike, since he is on the road and has another Zoom call. So Mike, go ahead and share with us, Lieutenant, I should say. There's 2 mics. So Lieutenant, 3 mics. We have 3 mics, sorry.
That sounds good. I'll make it quick, and I'll let Mike James kind of talk about the homeless outreach that we're doing in partnership with Home Start in the city. He's kind of got the more overarching dialogue with that. So, but I just wanted to let everybody know that, you know, with the kind of the national dialogue that's going on with, you know, affecting law enforcement, the deputies are still out and about. They're still business as usual within the city. We appreciate the support that we've been seeing from some of the churches and from the community that's been coming in and dropping off things, you know, little knickknacks and snacks and waters and things like that for us. It's been, I guess the best way to say it is it's been a very trying time for a lot of people, a lot of the deputies that are working out of your station, the 15 of us that are there. So we appreciate every little tidbit that we can get of support. And it's really nice that those, organizations are coming out and being vocal with the support. So we'll always be in the community. We will always be out there to protect and to serve the community of Lemon Grove. That will never change. And we appreciate, like I said, everything you guys can turn around as far as support goes to us. So, and then I'll let Mike talk about the homeless outreach that we started.
Awesome.
So, thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
All right, Mike James, why don't you go ahead and share with us on the heels of that, just about the homeless services.
Sure.
And then we'll go to Lydia after that.
Clarice has a story. I don't know if
Recently, the city council took a progressive step forward and partnered with Home Start, and the partnership really allocates them to use a portion of City Hall for free as an office space, so that'll help encourage their presence in the city. And so some of the benefits of that also partner with what Mike just covered with the CDBG COVID grant money, in that we're creating a 4-person outreach team, so our own little homeless outreach team, with what resources we have available, and really going out to the hotspots in the city. And so when we talk about hotspots, I think every one of you probably can pick out at least 1, 2, 3 or more throughout the city where you can go there and contact an individual experiencing homelessness. So we have those same locations, and we provide those to the team. And so about every 2 weeks, they're getting out. We're trying to get it weekly, but right now it's about every 2 weeks. They're forming the team, going out, making contacts with the goals of trying to provide some type of service to the individuals experiencing homelessness. The other benefit is from this team is that it's not law driven. It is the street outreach specialists from Home Start are taking the lead. So and really the deputies, once they get on site, they really take a step back. It's more of, hey, we're not here to arrest you. We're not here to cause any issues. We're here to try to see how we can help you. And so I think that's been very well received. And we're still waiting on the initial reports from Home Start. But the benefit is face-to-face contact. And probably more importantly is to have the individuals enrolled in the HMIS system. So the Homeless Management Information System that's region-wide. And then once that happens, then we can figure out who are they talking to, who have they made contact with, and what do they need? Because then there may be a resource that we don't have, but then we can kind of plug in and go to Salvation Army, Crisis House, Family Health Center San Diego, or even the Convention Center in downtown, and really trying to just figure out, okay, how can we get you the services that will help you get off the street, which again is the solution to homelessness, right? To get a home. So let me just touch on a couple more things about some of the reports that we're hopefully gonna get. Is really just talking about how many people are making contact with, what are some of the services being provided? Are they food stamps? We do provide little care packages with hygiene kits, socks, And then transportation is another thing that we're trying to work on for folks that don't have an ID or driver's license, to be able to get them to the location to get that. Total number of assessments, and then hotel vouchers is kind of the next step. Right now, Home Start is out of homeless vouchers, so we're hoping that the next batch of grant funds that they're getting in will be able to be something that they can provide to those experiencing homelessness in the city. So I think on a weekly basis, we have a 3-person team that's making contact with not just our businesses and making sure that the businesses throughout the core piece of the city are we're being in touch with them. We're trying to figure out what we can provide them. But also the other piece is just to kind of look, listen, and learn as they're driving around the city. And that's where the critical piece comes in about trying to find the specific locations where individuals that are experiencing homelessness are residing. Because in the end, I think as we're receiving more and more calls and complaints about trash and camps and whatnot. So the city's trying to walk that fine line of being as clean as possible to prevent any type of the clutter and whatnot from expanding, but then also trying to understand, hey, let's try and solve the problem of homelessness by getting them into a place. So that's it, and I'm open for questions. And the sheriffs have done a great job in assisting with this, and we really wouldn't be able to do it without them. It
is a team effort, isn't it? Everybody involved.
Yeah.
I saw that, some of the other agencies had gone and cleaned up a lot of the stuff behind Walgreens. Is it Walgreens? Yes. Walgreens right there. And it's everybody working together. And I love what you're saying. That's great. Thank you so much for doing that. And just a quick question. And if you also have a question, feel free to raise your hand. I'm wondering, those care packets that you make or you buy, would there be an opportunity for residents to get together and put together packets like that? Or like if our church wanted to put together packets, do you have a list of what's included in those packets?
I don't have a list, but for the most part, it's going to be toiletry, hygiene, socks.
Okay.
I think those are the big items. But I think that would be a great idea because one, it would will allow us to maybe repurpose those funds to maybe transportation instead of purchasing hygiene kits. So we could repurpose that to help more folks get help.
Okay, I'll email you about it and just see if that's something that we could maybe get the word out. There's over 30 churches here in Lemon Grove, and if everybody gave you 100 packs, then you could, like you said, repurpose that money. That would be great.
Yeah, and I think we started to include maybe some food items, but I'm not familiar with that package. Some like non-perishables or something like that to be able to help.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I want to kind of follow up and have Lydia go next, unless
Roberta had a question.
Oh, Roberta, were you clapping for him, like yay, or did you have a question?
Yes, but I have a comment. I can tell you that we made a dozen hygiene kits, and it cost us $60. We got all our supplies from 99-cent city type thing. So our junior youth put them together. It was really super easy to do, and the kids really do care. Children are really compassionate.
That's a good way to get people involved. Good, thank you for that. That's helpful to know. Ballpark figure. I know Clarice noted that you have to leave. You already did mention a little bit about your store. Did you want to say anything else before you need to leave, Clarice? Go ahead and unmute.
No, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody for the support, and also that we want to connect with Mike about maybe our store can put together some of the kits. Okay. And we have Runyan's book. Runyan came by, we picked up some of his books, and so we are carrying some of his books at the store, and I encourage you to come and get one. He's a great writer.
Right, George Runyan right there, who just came
on.
Yeah. Got a book that came out recently.
Right, we do carry local authors' books as well, usually a few to see if they work out, but come by and get one of George's books.
That's awesome. And remind us of your hours again.
10 to 1 and 2 to 5, Tuesday through Saturday. We're closed Sunday and Monday.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. That's See Christ Bookstore. You can look it up if you don't know the address.
We're in the 7-Eleven and Santana's shopping mall.
Santana's. Yep. Awesome. Okay, so I'll go next to Lydia. I go ahead and if you want to follow up on the city announcements and the homeless project or anything else that we need to know about. Lydia, is she there? She might have had to step away. Okay. Well, we'll come back to Lydia in just a second. Is there anybody else who has to leave shortly and need to go first? No? Okay.
Dean?
Oh, Dean, do you have another commitment that you?
I have another commitment at 10. So if someone else has a more urgent one, then I can go later.
Why don't you?
He was up first anyway. He and Roberta
Yeah.
were up first anyway.
Why don't you go ahead and go first?
Okay.
And I'm going to have Kaylee go next because I want everybody to hear before they all start dropping off. I want everybody to hear her presentation. It's a short presentation. So go ahead and make your announcement, and then we'll go to Kaylee.
Okay. Just wanted to announce that August 31st is International Overdose Awareness Day, which our opioid campaign is promoting. As many of you have read, and I'm sure it's a stress on every community, fentanyl deaths are on the rise, and they're heavily concentrated in Lemon Grove, Spring Valley, and in the East County suburbs. So we have developed a challenge to get our youth involved in the prevention efforts. It is a social media PSA announcement contest where they can make a video or a meme or some other social media content that they understand, and I clearly do not. Thankfully, I have young people on my team that help put this together, so I sound like I know what I'm talking about. But it is, we do have prizes available. There's a $25 gift card at stake for the first prize, and the winning entries will be featured on the LiveWell page, as well as our social media page, and the participants will be interviewed on Instagram Live by our South Bay Youth for Change and ECYC programs. So I'm going to go ahead and put the flyer in there and in the chat. And then, Anne, if I can email that to you, if you could circulate it, I would certainly appreciate it. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dean. Let me check and see if Lydia's back on. Lydia, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I had trouble unmuting and muting.
Oh, that's okay.
Sometimes it doesn't work when I unmute. I just want to dovetail to what Mike James was saying and Lieutenant Rand is that grant. We could not have done that partnership without the grant. The CARES grant is opening up a lot of doors for us to be able to do things that we normally don't have the funding to do. And as you know, in this time, we have we are in very, very tight budget constraints. And with that, the City Council several council meetings ago put on the ballot for the November election a marijuana tax. So it's a marijuana business license tax, which does not exist, and it did not exist with Measure V. And what this tax does is it allows the council to set the tax rate for all marijuana businesses up to 8% of gross receipts. So the tax for them is based on how much revenue that they receive on a gross basis, and then they have to pay up to 8%. Of that revenue to the city. It was written in such a large and such a broad perspective that if this council or future councils would like to open up the marijuana world to say recreational marijuana, because right now we only allow medical, to cultivation, to research and development, that tax, if approved by voters in November, would cover all of those businesses. So it was written with a perspective of being adaptable and flexible. So we hope that voters pass that. It needs a 50% plus one vote. And if it does pass, it is effective, actually almost January 1, it would be effective. So we would be able to reach out to our marijuana businesses and then have that discussion with them about the change in the tax system. So, and we're excited about that. That's if we get the maximum percent, we're probably going to get close to
million or so dollars. We did a financial analysis based on 4 operational stores, and from memory, I believe it was close to $5 million. So it would be a nice revenue diversification for Lemon Grove, and will help be able to put that money towards programs that the city desperately needs. And I think that is it. We are still working with COVID. If you look at our COVID page, the county has a new reporting number. If anybody would like to report violations based on the health order, it's an 858 number. The county staffing that 24/7 and relieving 211 of that responsibility. They were never set up to be a dispatch responsibility. And if it's an egregious situation, you can always call 911. That information will be sent to our sheriff's deputies, and they'll be able to follow up on any health violations that happen. And then lastly, I want to thank the Clergy Association. I know I reached out to Ann and Mark with an offer once everybody had to go back outdoors, or they shut down indoors, to reach out to any churches that want to do any services outside. We will help accommodate that, whether it's in your parking lot or at a local park. We want to make sure that we keep the semblance of normality in this city, and part of that is working with our partners in the community. And I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody has them.
So if you have a question, feel free to wave at me. Lydia, were those numbers annual? Those were annual revenue for the city? Okay.
Yes.
And the new reporting number, is that on the website?
Yes. We put it up on our COVID website. We continually update from information that we get either from the county or from the state, and we try to stay pretty current on all of that information.
Awesome. Great.
And then I think Clarice had mentioned the city received both state and county federal grant CARES Act money. And what we did with that money is we proportioned a large majority of that, $650,000, to help support our business community with a grant. Essentially, they don't have to pay it back.
Nice.
We went through those applications. It closed last Thursday. We had 108 applications, and we're currently going through those applications. We've got I don't want to give you the number because I don't remember what it was, but there is several of the applications did not qualify because majority, either they were home occupation businesses, and that wasn't what the grant was designed for, or one of the most, what we city staff thought would be a very easy threshold is to pay your annual business license by March 1st. And we had several businesses that actually turned in their application and paid their business license at the same time. Yeah, so that automatically disqualified them. And we actually had some businesses that applied that did not have an existing business license or haven't had an existing business license for several years. So we'll be dealing with that in another way. But so that was probably the highest disqualification is the fact that they lacked a business license to operate in the city. But our need is close to $800,000 if we took those that were all qualified, and we fund them. So,
wow.
Yeah. So I think that's that's it. Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Does anybody have any questions for Lydia? Hopefully our businesses can stay open, and we don't need any more empty buildings in Lemon Grove. So we're hoping that that help will be there for them. Thank you for making that happen.
Yeah, well, thank the city council. They were the ones. Staff just suggested it, but the city council agreed with staff's allocation that actually goes towards the business community. And we're glad to help because we really didn't have any other money in our coffers to do that. So it was a blessing to get that.
That's great. Thank you, Lydia. Thanks for all you're doing. Continue to pray for all of you at the city office and also the sheriffs. You all have a lot of work to do and very, very difficult, challenging times. So we will, as Lieutenant asked us, we will try to offer as much support as we can in these agencies and our churches. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Kaylee and just let you make your presentation. Did you need to show your screen?
Yeah, do you mind? It's like a 6-slide presentation. It's really not long.
Okay.
I'm going to try and go really quick just to be mindful of time for everyone. So if I'm talking really fast,
well, hang on. Strap in.
Yeah. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Thank you. Alrighty. Well, like I said earlier, my name is Kaylee and I'm the Health Advocacy Specialist for Full Stop. It stands for Families Uniting Locally to Solve Tobacco Proliferation. It is a program underneath the Nile Sisters Development Initiative. A little bit about Full Stop. We are a California Department of Public Health funded tobacco control program. We are located in both San Diego and Orange County, California. We aim to reduce tobacco-related health disparities among refugee, ethnic, and African American and Black communities. And under our program, we have a couple of different objectives. One of them is our youth coalition. We offer a lot of great opportunities for youth in Lemon Grove and the rest of the San Diego community to get involved and join our youth advocacy boards. And it offers just a lot of educational and professional development skills like public speaking, leadership opportunities, and ways that kids can become not only just tobacco control advocates, but just advocates for their community in general. We also are doing an initiative for smoke-free multi-unit housing. We have a goal by 2023 to hopefully have a policy implemented in Lemon Grove that 100% of all individual units in multi-unit housing complexes will be smoke-free, just to reduce and mitigate the effects of secondhand and thirdhand smoke to surrounding neighbors and vulnerable populations, particularly those who don't have the opportunity to live in smoke-free buildings or can't afford to move. And then our smoke-free faith-based campuses, I'll talk about a little bit after, but we are also in Oceanside working on a policy to ban the sale and distribution of flavored tobacco and menthol products. So a little bit about our tobacco-free policy that I'll talk about. It is a voluntary policy to help our faith-based organizations promote the health and emotional support for their congregations. So by signing on to the policy, it's free, totally voluntary, so it can be constructed and deconstructed at will. But once signed, it would create a tobacco-free environment on your campus and encourage smokers to quit, as well as ensure all congregants will be protected from secondhand and thirdhand smoke on your campus. So a little bit more about the policy. It would prevent the usage of all cigarettes on the premise, which would include electronic smoking devices like Juuls and vapes. But once signed, our program will provide your congregation custom signage as well as educational materials for your grounds to further aid in the implementation. And we also offer a lot of different resources that I'll touch on in a couple slides later. But if your congregation isn't completely ready to sign on to the policy, we do have some other options that can help improve the health of your community and your faith-based campus. So one option would be to designate a smoking area. And this would likely be somewhere where drifting smoke has a difficult time reaching areas where others like to congregate outside. Sometimes this would be like a fenced-in area or somewhere that barriers block the smoke from traveling. Another option would be to provide cigarette receptacles for discarded cigarettes. Smoking has a lasting and detrimental impact on the environment and is considered toxic waste, so good to have receptacles to throw that away. So policy adoption, it's really easy. With COVID-19, our program has pretty much had to modify everything and how we do it. It's pretty much all virtual. We've at least created a virtual option for almost everything in our project. So we now have the policy online. It's basically just a Google form and you sign it. And the policy isn't really meant to penalize any sort of churches if someone is caught smoking or anything like that. We want the churches to be, or the congregations to be the ones that enforce it. So we're not going to be like checking in or anything. We are just going to give you guys the tools to be able to implement the policy, like a free customized strategic planning session and technical assistance to help facilitate the passage of the policy. We'll give you tobacco-free signage, educational literature that you can hand out to your congregants. We also are doing a lot of incentive materials and gift cards. If anyone in the congregation takes part in like surveys or any sort of events, and we'll also offer a certificate of recognition as well. So this is our directory. We've had about 10 churches sign on to the policy the last 2 years in both San Diego and Orange County, so that's exciting. We're hoping to add more. And then, you know, a lot of people aren't always ready to sign on to a policy, so there's a lot of other ways that you can support the initiative. One way would be just to write a letter of support to local officials saying that you support the Full Stop program, or joining our community coalition also to help take a stand against tobacco usage and help us advocate for the health of our communities. And this is my last slide, so I'm almost done. And then ways that we can support you. I think I mentioned a little bit earlier that we can provide educational workshops, and these can be workshops that can help you and your staff facilitate the adoption of the policy, or an education workshop that could just detail the current trends or health implications of tobacco use. If you have any sort of youth groups, we can come and talk to them about electronic smoking devices, flavored tobacco products, really anything. We're here to help you guys and provide education. Also, partnership with events. We can help you know, plan, implement, facilitate any sort of event. We've done a lot of virtual events on Zoom, so if anyone is seeking assistance with doing virtual events, we have quite a bit of experience with that since March. So we are definitely here to help you guys with events as well. And then educational materials. We have a lot of free materials that we can give to you in your campus. There are flyers, brochures, pamphlets, and then we can also assist in setting up a health ministry or a support group for your congregation as well. And that is it for me. Sorry, I was talking so fast,
No,
but
good.
I have my email and my phone number on there. I can also put it in the chat as well.
That'd be great.
And then we do have an upcoming event, Monday, September 14th. We are doing a Lemon Grove COVID-19 Community Resource Town Hall. The date is September 14th. The time is still tentative, and I don't have a flyer yet, but once I get that created, I'll probably send that to you, Ann, and then hopefully you can send it to everyone. But yeah, thank you so much for letting me take up some of your time.
Does anybody have any questions for Kaylee about the event or what she does or what she's offering for churches? It seems pretty easy to get involved, so if you have any questions, I'll go ahead and send out this information too, and then the recording. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay. Let me go back to my list, and I think Roberta was next on the announcements, so I'll have Roberta and Mike, the other Mike, the third Mike, go and share.
Okay, well, I'll make the announcement for the Lemon Grove Historical Society. It's not an invitation to an event, but we want to let you know that the Parsonage Museum was honored by the Colonial Dames Association. It's nationwide. They have different chapters, and a chapter, I guess, in our local area bestowed this honor. They've given us a plaque for the Parsonage Museum in honor of the historical preservation of the first church of Lemon Grove. They thought that was a wonderful use, and that it's a museum now is a wonderful use of that space for the community. So we're very happy, and next week they'll be having a very small ceremony, unveiling ceremony. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to invite you because of COVID, but it was supposed to have been done a long time ago in a much more open way, but that's the way it goes. Yep. And we're really happy to have Sarah with us. She's for membership. We're always looking for new members that love Lemon Grove and want to preserve its history. So thanks for that. And I'll let Mike talk now about the Baha'i announcements.
Thanks, Roberta. Okay, Mike. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know we're in the middle of Interfaith Awareness Week, and Ann sent out forwarded an email earlier this week about activities going on, and it's really a pretty neat function. This is the brainchild of Dr. Steve Alpert, who is a pastor up in Poway. A few years ago, he started it in San Diego. It went statewide, I think, last year, and this year it's getting some national participation. But for example, today at noon, there's an interfaith youth panel, Racial Justice from a Youth's Lens. And that's, everybody can jump on through their Zoom, and I think it's just, it gets people together and talking, carrying on the important conversations of the day. So thanks for sending that out, Ann.
Yeah.
Also on September 21st, it's the United Nations International Day of Peace, and Baha'is of Lemon Grove will be hosting a virtual meeting in recognition of International Day of Peace. And we're thinking about doing something. The 21st of September is a Monday, so we're thinking about maybe doing something the weekend before, Saturday or Sunday. It'll be a virtual meeting. We'll have some things coming up. We'll get a flyer out in time for the next meeting, but we're in plans for that now. But mark your calendar for September 21st or possibly the weekend just prior.
Okay.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. All right. See, Dean's already gone. I guess, Sarah, did you want to add anything to the historical society announcements?
Not really. We do have a new exhibit in the museum that I have not seen about Miller Dairy. They are taking, I mean, if a couple people want to come, you can call and they can have a private showing, but we really can't open it to public, which is a sad. Laura, our new up and coming president, helped put that together. It's apparently fabulous. I guess there's a lot of people who remember Miller Dairy in the community. I'm learning more and more going through the archives. We have some really great history here in Lemon Grove, so I'm excited to get to know more about it, and feel free to join. We need more members, and we need more money right now because we're not getting we can't have a lot of events that generate revenue. So we're scrimping and saving and hoping to have a big fundraiser next summer. So I'm hoping to plan a big party at our super cool Lee House, which we have a great venue. So
awesome.
There's some fun things there.
So do you and Clark want to go ahead and go next and talk about the flyer that we sent out and the food drive?
I'll let Clark,
Okay.
He has 3 different ways you can be of help. So I'll let Clark go over that.
All right, Clark, you're up.
Okay, I just uploaded the food drive flyer if you want to take a look at that. There are a few different ways that you can participate, and this is on August 22nd that we are coordinating a food collection drop-off event at multiple locations throughout the community. If you look on the flyer that we just posted there is one in Spring Valley on Sweetwater Springs Boulevard there that may be convenient for many of you. That flyer, it's also something that could be used by your congregants to take that flyer. It's editable. In the lower right-hand corner of that flyer, you can type in your name and your home address if you wish, and have people bring food to your house and then deliver it to one of those drop-off locations on August 22nd. So we're trying to just make this as convenient as possible for as many to participate. We know that many of the congregations throughout the area have food pantries that are beneficiaries of the San Diego Food Bank. So this is trying to help them with collecting food on the front end of that. There's also I'll post in the chat session here some other ways that you can contribute. On the flyer, there is a link where if folks don't want to actually bring food, you can donate money, or there's actually like a shopping cart type thing that the food bank has. You can go there and pull down what kinds of food that you would want to pay for and just donate money. So that's another opportunity to contribute in that way. And there's a Just Serve link that I will post on the chat session once I'm off here. That includes not only the locations listed on the flyer, but there are some other locations throughout central San Diego County and eastern San Diego County that can be used as drop-off locations. If anybody has any questions, I'll include my email address, phone number, or Sarah is available as well.
Thank you so much for doing that, for getting the information to us. I know there are a lot of people who are in need of food, and I know Lemon Grove's been doing the weekly food distribution giveaway, and I think every week I help with the packing, but I don't help with the distribution. Are there more people than food, Jennifer? I don't know, like on Saturdays when people come through, are there people that need food that?
Yeah, the last couple weeks, we've actually been running out.
You have been running out. Wow.
Yeah, we've been preparing for about 200 people, and I think last week we managed to squeeze out 208 bags of groceries, but it was we only closed up probably about 15-20 minutes early.
Okay.
So I think I think we reached the vast majority of people who are going to come.
Good.
We don't really have storage facilities, long-term
Right.
storage. So we, it's a fine line of trying to
Balance.
get enough for everybody, but
Not
make
have
sure that we
leftovers.
give it all out. So we're hesitant to kind of bump it up too much. But, every week we just try to balance that number.
And that food is provided by the CARES Act money that came to the city. Is that correct?
Well, I'll just go ahead and jump to what I was going to say real quick. It has been, yes, and we have received some community donations from the Lions Clubs of Lemon Grove and La Mesa, gave us some startup funds. But one thing that Joyce and I have been working on for the last couple weeks is her organization, Thrive. I should say my organization too, because I've been a member for the last 5 years. But our organization, Thrive, is a nonprofit, and so the city of Lemon Grove is not, and so we were not. The city was not able to get an agency contract with the San Diego Food Bank, but Thrive was able to, and is going to partner with the city of Lemon Grove. So this will help us provide, it'll help stretch out our CARES Act funds for a longer period of time, because, who knows how long this is going to go on. The need is not going to go away. And then Joyce and I are talking about when the city funds run out, how Thrive as an organization, with help from community groups like this one, can continue to maybe distribute food on a monthly basis. But we want to do this on an ongoing basis and not just have it end when the CARES Act funds end. We're looking at this long term. So that was our news. We got approved yesterday. Thrive as an agency provider, so it's going to save the city an enormous amount of money. And then I wanted to say too, I got to put my glasses on here to see the name here, Mr. Hendrickson. The food bank is actually kind of low on food, so they are really in need of these community food drives right now. The last few times I've gone there, for our church has a agency contract there. So the last few times I've gone for the church, it's, the shelves are getting kind of bare. There's a lot of fresh produce and bread, but it's the non-perishable food that they're really running low on. So I'm very excited to see that you guys are doing this food drive, because it is much, much needed.
Maybe I'll just add that we've coordinated with them to drop off huge bins at each one of these locations. So there's going to be a lot of room to collect as much food as we possibly can. So we're trying to just get the word out and provide this opportunity to those who may not know about it to contribute food, and hopefully that will help them some in their stockpiles there, because we recognize that they are low.
I just want to add one thing. Don't underestimate a few dollars given to the food bank. I know that they can make the money stretch much farther than we do in purchasing food. So I always try to give cash, because they have so many deals with so many different places that they can really make that money stretch as far as how much food they get. So I just, go to the link and donate money is also a great way to help.
Good point. That's a great point, Sarah. Thank you. Joyce, did you want to follow up on the heels of Jennifer with your Thrive announcement?
No, I'm just honored and happy that we can work together. I was just wanting to share see if we can follow up with Angela Kretzmar when she came last month and shared with us. And so this would be another way that we can reach out to the families here in Lemon Grove, because there's no packaging of that food. They bring it and they drop it off. Just need a host who would say that they would be the host or the sponsor until the library is back up and open, because the library was the host for it. And so it's just another way that, food is being put out, which is not happening now because of COVID. And so I think if we can talk about that, maybe through email, see if the clergy want to take that up, how many volunteers we could get to sign up, per month, how many agencies and organizations. She said 4 people. And she said in Casa de Oro, the food is usually gone. They usually go through serving 100 kids in 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they pretty much doing it the way things are being done here on Saturday. So Mike is on here. I know this is Monica's area. I don't know if the recreation center would be a place where they could come. We could still do the same thing, except there's no packaging. So we just need the tables and the canopies. They just drive through and get their food and they're gone. It's no preparation at all.
Oh, okay. So it's just it's a place to store it for a time. I mean,
no. It would be just like on Saturday mornings how they bring the food out.
They just
so it would just be So
drop
you just
it and serve it,
and and serving it, and it's done.
And is it children only? Is this for children only?
I think she said children's, because that's what it is. It's so it's like they call it supper, but it could be lunches or whichever. They do it 5 days a week in several locations. Angela's over, and so it could be for lunch, or it could be like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or what have you.
So let me just be clear on what we need. We need a host location or a church or a facility, and we need we need people to commit so that we can have this open Monday through Friday.
Right.
About an hour, basically.
I would say about an hour.
About an hour commitment. Okay. Well, maybe I should send that out in an email now that I know exactly what we're asking for, and see if there's anybody that would be willing to take that on. And hopefully all these different things that are being done are helping reach different people that are in need, right? So this would be, and the word gets out by how do people know that this exists?
Well, we could use the library again to put that out, the information, because they're still putting information out through the library. We could ask the churches to put it out, and we could put out a few flyers if need be, but I don't think that would be the case. Because I'm thinking I would reach out to Tim Shaw, because they have that lunch for the kids on Wednesdays. And I think that would be an easy avenue.
Okay. So working with the schools? Maybe?
Right.
Yeah.
Working with the schools, yeah.
Okay.
And he is a school board member, and he's a great advocate.
Excellent. Okay. Maybe you and I can talk offline and figure out how to get the word out of clearly what it is we're in need of. But I'm just so appreciative for all of you and your heart for helping these people that are struggling. And there certainly are a lot of people that are struggling. I'm part of a number of different boards where there are people, like Buy Nothing Lemon Grove. People put out stuff all the time, like I have a bag of groceries, who needs it? Somebody goes and gets it. I've got extra things, and people are sharing and caring, and it's really awesome. And there's the Lemon Grove food table, or what do they call it? Table of Hope. And Nora's continually putting food out there, and people are putting food out there. So there's a lot going on, and it makes my heart happy that there are so many people out there who are helping and caring for one another.
And it is helping because on Saturday, so there are a few people that drove through, they asked to speak to the mayor and they let her know how much the food was helping.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really great. That's good. It's always good to get feedback, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, who have I not gone? So Monique, you want to go ahead and go next?
Sure. I said I was going to talk about one thing, but I actually want to talk about 3 things because while people have been talking, I've thought about other things.
That's good.
So if I can be a resource I know that you're doing food drives, you're talking about hygiene kits. Right now, there are a lot of resources that are available related to like domestic violence, the suicide prevention hotline, opioid stuff. If there's a flyer with all those resources that I could create that would be helpful for you to put in those bags, let me know. And I'd be happy to do that. We're not seeing an uptick in domestic violence reports. But what we are seeing is that the ones that are calling are the worst of the worst cases, which means that lower level domestic violence is happening, but just not getting reported. And that's obviously very problematic and troubling. Some of it has to do with the fact that they don't know that they can still report. They're concerned that places are closed. But if that kind of information would be helpful, same with child abuse, I'm happy to put together a flyer with all of that information and give it to you. And if you want to print it out and shove it in those food bags, if that would be useful, let me know. And I can work on compiling things that I think would be helpful because we know that there's a lot of unreported child abuse that's currently happening because the reports for child abuse are 1/3 of what's normal for this time period. And that makes sense because kids aren't in school, teachers are mandated to report, and so the people that normally would report this are not. Conversely, we are seeing a huge uptick in the number of cases from NIMIC, which is the online child exploitation. So child pornography, online child abuse, all that is way up, which makes sense because that's where kids are. So if that information would be useful, I'd be happy to create a flyer and email it to you, and you can print it and shove it in those bags and distribute it however you want. Just let me know, and I'll start making something that kind of captures all the different sore spots we have right now during COVID-19.
So Mike James, does that sound like something that you'd be interested in having her create, that we could put in all the resource bags?
Yeah, if we do a flyer.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And Monique, we met before.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. Yeah, so we can get together and chat more about this.
Yeah, if that'd be helpful, I'll connect with you and see, and then that goes to anyone else as well. I know that there are various nonprofits that are also distributing food bags, and so if I could be helpful in that way, I'd be happy to spend some time crafting something that would meet those needs, including like the hate crimes hotline, just, you know, the hot topics that are going on right now, a one-stop shop of information. Let me know. Another thing I wanted to announce is that today we're kicking off the 3rd and final stage of this opioid awareness outreach campaign that we've been doing. It's online, it's called the San Diego Opioid Project, and the purpose behind it is to educate and change behavior leading to opioid overdose deaths. So like Dean said earlier, we have an alarming fentanyl spike in opioid deaths right now, and I didn't realize how teeny tiny fentanyl can be, but it was described to me as the size of salt. So a granule of salt. So 2 salt granules can be deadly, just for context. I think that was really, for me, that was really impactful comparing it to something I'm familiar with. And so that I'll post the link to that website. It has information so that people can understand how opioid overdose happens, what it looks like actually what the person looks like while they're suffering from an opioid overdose, what to do when you call 911, information that would be helpful, as well as resources available. It's in English and in Spanish. It's a social media campaign that we've been doing. Specifically, it's targeting people that we think are at risk of becoming addicted. It's been going on for a bit. This is the final stage of it, and this portion of it is related to drugs that are laced with other things. But all the information, all the resources are available on the website. I'll drop it in the chat. It's san diego opioid project.org. But the original announcement that I had actually planned on making is related to an event that I'm organizing called Share Safe Space. The DA's office has partnered with Access Inc., which is a nonprofit, to have an event online for 16 to 24-year-olds, the TAY population. The idea is to have the TAY population and the DA's office have a direct conversation. So it's myself and other community partnership prosecutors, and the DA will be there to engage in the TAY population in a conversation about what barriers they have to justice, to resources, what are some of their safety concerns that they have in the community. The goal is to take away some of those barriers that currently exist that prevent 16 to 24-year-olds from talking with law enforcement, right, the DA's office. It's a virtual event. They just have to register in advance. It's on September 9th. So this is a Lemon Grove group, but it's a countywide event that's happening. I will share in the chat the flyer for it, and then I've already shared it with Anne, and she can send it out to everybody who's not here, but this way you can see it right now. And then I'll put the opioid website in there as well with my contact information.
Awesome. Thank you, Monique. That's a lot of good stuff going on. Did anyone else have an announcement that I missed? Shanna, did you have anything? Yes, crime prevention. Let's see, you're muted. Let's see. There we go.
Better?
That's better.
Okay. The one thing I wanted to follow up on is I have been in contact with National Night Out and trying to find out. It's already been postponed once from August to October. This week I had a conversation with them in regards to, are we postponing October or is it still going? And at this point they have not yet given me a final answer. So let's keep our fingers crossed that October 6th is still a good night for that. I guess it will depend on how social distancing plays out between now and then.
Okay, so that would be an outdoor event. You still same location?
Well, we can pick a different location every year, but I am hoping to have it in the same location as last year in the parking lot of, I'm sorry, I always mix up Rite Aid.
Rite Aid, yeah.
Right, yes. So that is my hopes. The last time I spoke to the manager, she was supportive of that. So once I get the confirmed go ahead on that, I will make sure that that still works for her.
Okay. Great. Thank you. All right. Anything else? Any last minute thoughts, questions? I just want to thank you all for all of your labors in making Lemon Grove a better place to live. And I know there's a lot of need out there, and so we need all hands on deck to serve those needs, to connect. I feel like this is a place where we connect needs with resources, and a lot of the churches that are on my email list have people in their congregations, and they know a lot of pastors just get people that are needy that come to them. So this is a great place for us to disseminate that information. You know, we don't have a ton of pastors on here this morning, but I do send out the emails, and I know they're getting the information, so that's awesome. Roberta, did you have your hand up? You're muted.
I had a question for Shanna. Crime prevention, yeah. Do you do presentations for neighborhood watch groups?
I absolutely do. And I have a few scheduled that I had postponed because of the situation, but feel free to give me a call and set that up. So as soon as the ban is lifted, I will happily come and do as many presentations as you need. I do elementary schools, neighborhood watch meetings, pretty much anything you need, I can make a presentation for.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's awesome. Great. All right. Well, we are right on time. We're a couple minutes early. So I'll try to take all this information that's been, Mark's been typing diligently in the chat room, and you've been putting in the chat room, and put this out into an email format along with the video, and that way we can continue on the good work. And hopefully we'll be able to assist you, Mike, with getting some of the churches involved in making those hygiene kits, right? And come up kind of with a standard list of maybe like what you would want to in it. And I'll work with you. Maybe I can communicate with you directly about that. We can come up with a standard kit and just see how many we can get for you, so that those can be distributed by the officers. And awesome. Okay. Well, let's see. Who do I have left on here? Is there anybody who would like to close us out in prayer? Maybe Joyce, would you mind closing us out in prayer? Sorry to put you on no notice. Put you on the spot there. Would you be willing to do that?
I'm so sorry. I'm doing two things at one time. I'm doing another meeting as well.
Oh, you're doing another meeting? Oh, don't worry about it. Mike, are you raising your hand?
Yeah.
You'd be willing to close us out? Okay, go ahead and unmute. There you go.
O thou kind Lord, this gathering is turning to thee. These hearts are radiant with thy love. These minds and spirits are exhilarated by the message of thy glad tidings. O God, let this American democracy become glorious in spiritual degrees, even as it has aspired to material degrees. Confirm this revered nation to upraise the standard of the oneness of humanity, to promulgate the most great peace, to become thereby most glorious and praiseworthy among all the nations of the world. O God, this American nation is worthy of thy favors and is deserving of thy mercy. Make it precious and near to thee through thy bounty and bestowal.
Amen. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. All right, be blessed, be safe, and we'll be in touch on email, and we'll see you hopefully next month, same time, same place. Okay.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.